US intelligence officials are now trying to do some damage control after a leak of Pentagon documents. We'll tell you what the documents contained in just a moment, but I think it's important to learn about the developments in regard to how these leaks came about in the first place. Now, we don't know exactly who leaked the documents. There is already a full-blown Justice Department investigation into this. The leaked documents revealed confidential information about the war in Ukraine, as well as intel that the United States gathered on its own allies. Again, more details on that in just a moment. But to make matters even more embarrassing for the State Department, The Guardian recently reported that this leak had been traced back to a Discord server about video games and YouTubers. So here's what we know. And this is, in my opinion, a little bit fluid and subject to change. So this is what we know so far, but don't get mad at us as the facts might change a little bit in coming days, right? This is just the initial reporting on the leak. So The Guardian cites open source intelligence analysts as its source for the report. The report explains that before the leaked documents were made known to the general public, they were circulating around several private Discord servers, the first of which was called Thug Shaker Central. Okay. So one intelligence analyst who spoke to The Guardian said this, quote, "Posts and channel listings show that the server's users were interested in video games, music, Orthodox Christianity, and fandom for the popular YouTuber Oxide, who has a military-themed YouTube channel. This server was not especially geopolitical in nature, although its users had a staunchly conservative stance on several issues, members told Bellingcat. Now, racial slurs and racist memes were shared widely." So
of course.
Gives you, I mean, it's, yeah.
Of course, they already said it was conservative.
Okay, so posts and channel listings show that the server's users were interested in video games, music, Orthodox Christianity, you get the point. So the server was not especially geopolitical in nature, just want to reiterate that. Now, according to the report, the documents were leaked when one server member, posted them to win an argument about the war in Ukraine. After that, the leaked documents started circling around a few other private Discords, including a Minecraft theme one before leaking to 4chan. So before we pivot to the contents of these leaked documents, any thoughts on the way this was leaked?
Yeah, so first of all, I gotta give you guys a little bit of a clarification. So we show videos every once in a while. Those are randos playing video games. That's not who it was leaked to, okay, just to be clear. So now in terms of how they did the leak, well, it seems like it's a right winger who did the leak. It's leaking to right-wing Discord channel. I don't know what Minecraft has to do with it, but that's kind of a fun angle. But if it has anything to do with 4chan, it's mental right-wingers. So now, is the substance correct? I don't know, right? I mean, I've never seen the right wing be correct about anything, but we don't really know who the source is.
We don't know who the source is. The DOJ, along with the State Department, is furious about this, and they're now engaging in a pretty, in an investigation. They want to find out who leaked it. Because that's the one thing that like the State Department will not stand for, right? If you ever embarrass them on their conduct or things like this, them spying on allies and committing war crimes, they won't self-reflect and maybe reconsider whether committing war crimes makes sense. They'll just get mad at the leaker.
Yeah, and so I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm saying. Look, am I surprised that there might be war crimes that we committed? Not at all, not at all. So like it doesn't, like the substance might be completely right. We have no idea like why they chose to put it on a right-wing platform, etc. But we do know that Minecraft has relocated to Russia to avoid prosecution.
Okay, but don't say things like that because I don't want anyone to think you're being serious.
Okay, I got you, but guys, there's a good reason why people are worried about it because they chased Edward Snowden out of the country.
Right.
They imprisoned and tortured Chelsea Manning. So the American government is brutal when you embarrass them and show
Julian Assange, another example.
Julian Assange for sure. If you actually do real journalism that challenges power, and again, if it's true, I don't care if it comes from the right, the left, I don't care at all, right? But if you do that, you're in a world of trouble because if there's one thing the American government despises, it's journalism.
So what's in the leaks? That's the question, right? And I don't trust very many sources to do good reporting on these kinds of topics, but I do trust Democracy Now! Amy Goodman had a pretty good segment on this. Let's watch.
Concerning the war in Ukraine, the leaked documents suggest Ukraine has little chance of militarily defeating Russia. One document from February predicted that Ukraine's, quote, ability to provide medium-range air defense to protect the front lines will be completely reduced by May 23rd. The leaked documents also predicted the fighting between Ukraine and Russia in the Donbas region, quote, is likely heading toward a stalemate. Another document indicates members of Ukraine's security services were responsible for sabotaging a Russian plane inside Belarus in late February. The documents also appear to indicate U.S. intelligence agencies had deeply penetrated the Russian military, giving the Biden administration internal information about Russian war plans in Ukraine, as well as operational plans for the private mercenary group Wagner in Africa. The Washington Post reports one leaked document reveals the Wagner group sought to purchase arms from Turkey, a NATO ally. Documents also show that Egypt, a close U.S. ally, secretly planned to produce 40,000 rockets for Russia.
I mean, that's a lot of tea. In fact, there's additional details that have been reported that you should know about, including the fact that there are NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine. So the leaked documents also indicate, well, one document dated March 23rd refers to the presence of a small number of Western special forces operating inside Ukraine without specifying their activities or location. The UK has the largest contingent, 50, followed by Latvia, 17, France, 15, and the United States, 14. And the Netherlands, they have sent one NATO member to Ukraine.
So look, it sounds believable. So, some in mainstream media hype Ukraine as if like they're about to take over Russia, right? No. So the fact that they're not quote unquote winning, but kind of in a stalemate, least surprising news I've ever heard. They try to sabotage a Russian fighter. Least surprising news I've ever heard. Oh wow, it's in Belarus. Look, I get that he could drag more things into it, but if you think that the Ukrainians, the Americans, the Russians aren't all operating in other countries against one another, you're nuts. You just don't know this stuff at all, right? And so I'm not surprised. Oh, we infiltrated the Russian military. Well, I hope to God we did. Right? The Russians are trying to infiltrate us, or the Chinese. By the way, including our allies. Israel often tries to infiltrate us. We do the reverse back to them, right? So every time people pretend that we're like pure as the driven snow and we would never spy on the Russians. Are you kidding? I mean, I think they should be fired if they're not spying on the Russians, right? So yeah, that's their job. I get it. The only part that's problematic, again, I'm not surprised by it, but it's problematic, is the NATO forces that are on the ground in Ukraine.
They're also spying on Zelensky too. It's not just Russia that they've.
Of course we're spying on Zelensky. Of course we are. Yep. Come on, guys, please don't be this naive, right? Like whatever the merit of this story, I would be shocked if it wasn't happening, even if the story isn't true, right? So, and by the way, you can tell from the reaction that it might be more likely to be true.
No, because Kirby is losing his mind.
Exactly. Yeah. That gives you the sense that like, okay, well, something that looked like not that credible on Minecraft, 4chan, these are like the least, Minecraft's fine. 4chan's the least credible thing in the world, right? But the State Department reaction to it makes you think, oh wow, looks like they got a pretty good source.
The State Department has not given us any reason to believe that these leaked documents are a hoax, okay? They are furious about this, which seems to confirm that these documents are very much real. What I raise a little bit of concern over is the reporting pertaining to how the leaked documents went into circulation in the first place. I don't know, it's just a gut feeling. I have no evidence to provide for why I feel that way. It's just a gut instinct. But we'll see how that part of the story develops. But to be quite honest with you, that part of the story is less interesting to me and less important to me than what the actual leaked documents contain. And they do contain a lot of damning information. A few other things I wanted to quickly mention, including our relationship with Israel. It's really interesting when you hear our politicians and the executive branch talk about Israel overtly. But behind the scenes, the document titled Israel, Pathways to Providing Lethal Aid to Ukraine says Jerusalem will likely consider providing lethal aid under increased US pressure or perceived degradation in its relationship with Russia. And in addition to that, we were spying on Israel, okay? So one document reveals that the United States had also been spying on Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian president. That is unsurprising, said a source close to Zelensky, but Ukrainian officials are deeply frustrated about the leak.
Yeah, so again, the only people who are mainstream media reporters or incredibly naive would be surprised by any of this. Of course, we spy in on everybody, including our allies, right? And the part that nobody talks about Israel, in regards to Israel, is how we use them as an ally. Like if you're looking at it from the outside, you think like, what does Israel ever do for us? Like we give them billions of dollars, we gave them Iron Dome. Okay, that's all good. That means Israel's protected. But then they turn around and never listen to us about the Palestinians, the settlements, any like encroachment. And so you name it, they never do anything for us, right? But what you don't know is behind the scenes, every once in a while when we need dirty work, our CIA, our intelligence guys goes to Israel and go, hey, you wanna do the dirty work for us?
Yep.
And so that's the part that they don't say out loud. And by the way, probably the #1 reason they're most pissed about these leaks, because that's the stuff that's super sensitive. But again, I wanna finish the thought on the NATO troops inside Ukraine. The reason why I point that out as the most dangerous of these revelations is, if the Russians drop a bomb and it lands on NATO soldiers, then I don't want our side going, oh, well, that's it. They killed a guy from Netherlands and a guy from the US. That's it, we got to go to World War III. No. If you're gonna put soldiers inside Ukraine, that's on you, that's not on the Russians. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.